Good morning. It is Friday, May 22nd, and I just woke up at the homestay in Ubud, Bali, Indonesia. And it's a really sweet place where I stayed a year ago when I was here. And it's really funny to be back here. First of all, this is a great homestay right in the center of Ubud. It's 30,000 rupiah a night, which is something like 28 bucks a night. And it's just a room and a bathroom. But it's actually quite clean, and the family who owns this place is really kind. And they're like most Balinese. This is not anything different. Although, you know what? Maybe it is different. I'm not going to say that all Balinese are really kind people, because that's a sweeping generalization, and you don't want to make sweeping generalizations about anybody, whether it's bad or good, because it's, first of all, not true. Not all Balinese are really kind. You know, they're people. They're people with agendas and a life purpose. With their own drives, just like everybody else. So I'm not making any sweeping generalizations. But this family that I am happy to be visiting with again, they are really kind, and this place is really beautiful. This is what they're talking about when they say that Bali is paradise. So there's this, I'm just down here at the, I don't know if you're able to see the little dove. That was a beautiful dove. But this is the entrance to my place. And it's just, everything is green, which is why they say it's a paradise. Orchids grow here very happily. And yeah, so this is the entrance to my place. I think I have it at a good angle. Yeah, it should be at a good angle. Yeah, so you can see it's just really lovely. And there's a great dog here named Pico. Pico! Really sweet. Anyway, my friend is coming. This particular homestay has 4 floors. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's a rooftop as well. And rooftop housing. Anyway, it's just 28 bucks a night here, and it's really good. Family's really nice. And it's tucked away from the street, so it's really quiet. And it's relatively new. So, like, the bathrooms are really modern with marble tiles and the big bathtubs as well. And the water is really hot. I love a hot shower. I don't care if it's 90 degrees and humid. Don't give me a cold shower. Don't cool off this shit. Anyway, this morning, so my trip here to Bali was really interesting. I stayed awake for most of the flight. So I had damn near half a dark chocolate bar the day before. So it's no wonder that I was wide awake, because that just jacked me up. But anyway, so I got here and I slept really well last night. But on the way over, I was thinking a lot of things. Okay, one of which is that Tom Hardy is just awesome. I just love him as an actor. He is now officially my favorite actor. Tom Hardy. I just watched him in this movie called The Drop, or is it The Dropbox? Wait, Dropbox is where I upload my videos to share. The Drop, I think, is the movie. It was really good. Anyway, so I almost watched that movie twice. It was that good. But on the way over, I was thinking about what it is I really desire. And this is important because I'm getting ready to make some big changes. And I've made some big changes over at the studio already. I've kept working to get myself to the place where, hi Pico, hello. I've been working to get myself to the place where I can set myself free from having to work at the studio all the time. And I've been really thinking about what it is I ultimately desire. And what I ultimately desire is to help women really live their greatest desires. And I'm talking about the deep desire that rests at the core of their heart. This is about opening the hearts of women, helping them open their hearts, helping them open their minds so that they free themselves from fear. But it's also about actually freeing the mind so that you can go on a deep personal journey with yourself, like finding that mystical marriage in yourself. Anyway, I'm going to talk more about this in the coming days, but for right now, I read this article this morning. This guy says 7 strange questions to ask yourself to help you find your higher purpose. And he says, one of the questions he asks is, what were you doing when you were 8 that you loved, that you've forgotten that you were doing? And he goes on to talk about how he was writing at the age of 8. He used to write stories all the time, just for himself. And then somewhere along the way he forgot that he loved writing stories, or he just stopped writing stories. But there's this kind of haunting passion that exists for him about writing. And the same thing is true for me. When I was young, I think I was in the 4th grade, so however old you are in the 4th grade, I just started writing stories. I just started telling stories. And it was when I was really into grammar, and I was not good at grammar. I didn't understand it at all. But I just remember sitting there thinking, I got to get this story out. And every time I'd get the story out, somebody would be like, yeah, but it doesn't make sense. It was because I didn't understand grammar. And what I wanted to say, I couldn't get it out the way I wanted to get it out. So it was really, it's not that it became my passion to learn how to get the story out. Well, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that's where it broke down. Because I had stories in me to tell, I became thwarted by grammar, actually, because trying to communicate these stories to people, every time I tried to communicate the stories, it became wrong because I couldn't use the language in the right way. And then I went on shutdown mode for years. But then when I turned 17, I came up with this idea that instead of trying to write in paragraph form, which still eluded me, believe it or not, what I started doing is just writing down what I wanted to say, sentence by sentence, and I made it in a list form. Well, as I'm making these list forms, all of a sudden, my mind and my creativity started linking up in list form. So my writing became lists of what it is I wanted to say. He walked into the room, period. He saw the table, period. Then I made, he walked to the table, period. And then I would be like, okay, there's my story. And then I said, okay, well, I can add something descriptive in there, like, he walked into the room, period. He was overwhelmed by how dark it was, period. He turned on the light, period. Then he saw the table, comma, which was covered with papers or whatever, sorry. silliness at 7 o'clock in the morning. But that's exactly how my writing started to develop. Well, by the time I was 17, I had forgotten that I was actually a creative writer, and I was still caught up in just trying to communicate and express myself. The thing that happened at the age of 17 was that I learned how to express myself on paper. And here it is, 17 years later, I'm actually learning how, no, 17, who am I kidding? Who am I kidding? It's 22 years later, 25 years later. How old am I? I'm 45. What's 17 minus 45? Anyway, that many years later, I'm just now realizing that I can actually merge the two, that there is still a person inside of me that is creative and who wants to write stories and who can express herself well on paper. I can now put those two together. 20 years later, she discovers that. So that's where I am right now. I'm at the point of discovering what it means to be someone who can actually write the stories she wants to tell. And now that I know that, what do I do about it? Thanks for watching, friends. Bye for now.